Gurubhyo Namaha. This is the talk for Muktidham group, number 4. We continue with the importance of being self-sufficient, and so one's goal should be to grow into self-sufficiency, taking the guidance of the Guru and taking the guidance of the knowledge and the help of your spiritual practices. When one is a seeker and one is on the spiritual journey, in reality there is no journey, but it seems like a journey. And once you have reached it, then you realize that there's really no journey and the self has been there all the time. And that is why it is said to be a pathless path. But it seems like a long journey, and it seems like, there is a lot of seeking. And like there is a lot to know, a lot to undo. It is very natural for every seeker that one feels daunted, one feels confused, and becomes challenged with the complexity or seemingly complex and seemingly difficult. This is certainly not a path where one can go off by himself or herself, just like you're going for a trekking, or you're taking a walk in the woods, or you're taking some journey of sightseeing. But even here, you need some road maps, you need some advice, and you need some guidance. Many times, this journey, this spiritual journey, is referred to as going through a thick jungle where you cannot see, and you cannot even see where the path is, or you cannot see at a long distance, and you don't know which direction to take, and you don't even know how to reach the destination. So here is why there is the need for the Guru, who can give a direction, who can support, and who can help give the guidance. So the most important thing when you approach a Guru is that you approach him with humbleness, humility, and with the sincere desire to learn. You be integrated to his knowledge and to his path, and to him also as a person, if you are seeing him as a person in the body. In reality, a Guru is much more than the body, he is the consciousness. But because your consciousness has not risen to that, at least one should respect him in the body and be very integrated to what he is trying to teach and what knowledge he is presenting and what are the changes that he is trying to bring about and how he is trying to bring about the transformation within you. You should be very aware and attuned to it. The Guru is all about knowledge. He is all about raising the consciousness and taking you to enlightenment. But in this context, one should be able to make you self-sufficient. If this self-sufficiency is not there, then it is really very difficult to reach the goal. Yes, in the beginning you would need the support, the care, and the direction. But all of these should be stepping stones to gain self-sufficiency. Otherwise, you will remain to be a follower forever, or you remain to be a slave or dependent forever. You can never become a leader and you can never become a master. You have to continue following as needed, but at the same time, it should start giving you enough strength and courage to become more and more self-sufficient. Just like, for example, if a child is there, the child needs all the support for several years before he or she feels confident and accomplished and skillful to be able to live on his own. And so is it with a student. He doesn't learn everything in the first grade itself. He needs to take the time, and the teachers need to guide him and to teach him, clear his doubts, and make him accomplished and be independent. So this is all a natural sequence, and it is not any different in the spiritual seeking also. Every guru chooses how he wants to lead the disciples or the devotees. The devotees are different from disciples. Disciples are more integrated with the guru, and these become the real seekers. The devotees are people who just come and go. They listen to some, and then they take exits whenever they want to. So first, it is important for you to decide whether you are a devotee or a disciple. Every seeker should be a disciple and not a devotee, a serious disciple. So here, when Maharishiji wanted to bring enlightenment for the world, he first of all decided that there has to be a technique for transcendence where one can experience the subtler aspects of the relativity and gain the experience of the transcendent. He was very clear that everyone should have mental clarity while practicing this transcendental meditation technique. In essence, you gain the mental clarity because a lot of stresses are released and the mind becomes clear. And only when the mind is clear, then you can start thinking and making the right decisions in terms of the seeking. And only when this mind is clear, then you can understand the knowledge also clearly. And only when this mind is experiencing the happiness, then it will want more and more happiness and stops chasing the senses and the sensory objects. It's only when the mind is happy and fulfilled, then it feels it is self-sufficient. Otherwise, it continues to search, it continues to seek, and it continues to be groping in the darkness and in the ignorance and in unknown directions. We understand that this mind wants more and more. It wants more and more of the happiness, more expansion of the happiness, and it also wants to be very creative. It wants to create more and more achieve more and more. So the important thing for the seeker is how to fulfill these desires of the mind and keep them in the path of this seeking. Whether it is the creative intelligence or whether it is wanting more and more happiness, more contentment and more peace, it all comes to the goal of the seeker. Now with Bhagavad Gita, everything will unfold, is unfolding in a very beautiful way. The whole of the life, the existence, the accomplishments, the success, the fulfillment, and the freedom, and finally the freedom. And to be in freedom, it's not a final thing, but it is to be in freedom and how to exist and how to accomplish. This is the ultimate message and the ultimate goal for every Jivan Mukta. It is very important to understand that one cannot gain this knowledge, one cannot understand and comprehend this knowledge unless until one is transcending. And so one cannot become self-sufficient and self-fulfilled without the transcendence and the experiences of the higher states of consciousness. It is such a great joy, an enormous joy when you become self-sufficient. When you have at least one tool which makes you self-sufficient, then you feel so confident and so fulfilled. And so let this one tool be the Transcendental Meditation. If you have not already learned it, please learn it. Go on tm.org and find a TM teacher close to you, and if you have the desire, it will happen sooner or later. And sooner the better. Just 3 days ago, I had a call from an elderly lady whom I met in Texas. She's an ardent spiritual seeker, a very educated woman who has gathered a lot of intellectual knowledge and is actually helping with a group of devotees herself. She wanted to speak with me, and so I called her, and she said, I have been practicing meditation for many years, for more than 15 to 20 years. And for some reason, I'm not experiencing as per my expectations. And in essence, what she was saying is that she was not having deeper experiences. So I just asked her as to what she's doing, and when she described it to me, then I said to her, this is a technique of concentration, and because you are concentrating on something, then you are not able to go deeper inside, and that is why you are not having the progression that you are looking for. And so I told her, why don't you learn TM? Because there have been hundreds and hundreds of people who have been learning different kinds of meditations and who tell me, and then when I tell them, please learn TM, they learned and nobody had ever had any complaints. Even in the last few weeks, There are at least 3 people in US who have learned TM because I told them. But this elderly lady was hesitant and she said, I have invested a lot of my time and my efforts in doing this particular technique, and so I want to give some more, time and effort to it, and maybe it will change. And so I gently told her, how can you change it? Because this is something should be effortless, which it should be totally effortless, this whole whatever technique you're doing. And if you put in more effort, then it defeats the purpose. Then I gently asked her, are you teaching this technique to your students, your devotees? And she said, yes, I have been teaching them. And then I quickly understood, that if she has to learn something new, then it is something she has to tell them that, this has not been working for her, and so they should also learn something new. And this is the play of the ego, and this is the trick of the ego. So if she is able to go beyond it and be honest with it, then she will make a very big progress, a great leap in her seeking. So here clearly she's not adequate and she's not self-sufficient with a technique, but she's projecting to others and projecting to the world that she knows a lot, and she's already reached there or gained so much. And this is where the play of the ego comes. And one should not fall into this trap, because a good seeker should be able to move in the direction of what is useful at any given time. He or she should be able to drop what is not working, what is not useful, what is not conducive, and what is not aligned to this progress or to the nature. And to make those steps, take those bold steps, so that you're out of it and then you start in the new direction. Otherwise, so much of time is wasted, so much of life is wasted, and so much of joy is gone. So now what I want to say is to all of you in this group is to look, please write down and see what is it that you're doing now in terms of meditation, and please try to learn Transcendental Meditation. I know what the meditation techniques are with all the groups, all the famous groups now that are available. Most of them are either concentration techniques or contemplation techniques or just kriyas. Unless until you make this one change where you have a technique which you don't have to rely on somebody and something all the time, and which will give you the self-sufficiency, this will be the starting point. Then how to make it better, how to have deeper experiences, how to have more expansion will come later. But at least in the beginning you have to have this as a foundation, as a source, one good transcendental technique. So I sincerely request all of you, just rise above your egos and rise above your inertia and your doubts and your concerns, and make this one clean, bold decision to make a change and have a technique that works first. And then all the knowledge will come very, very quickly. You will absorb the knowledge very rapidly, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, whether it is Ramayana, whether it is the Upanishads, anything. But this one technique of transcendence is important. There are several of you who have already learned to meditate some years ago, And if you need some checking, then Anil is there, Vivek is there, there are some team teachers here, and maybe on Zoom or WebEx or something, one of these meeting places, they can do the checking for you online. So you have to reach out, you have to say, I need checking, it has been a long time and I need to refresh it. So if this is so, then please give your names. You can post it in the group, or you can directly contact Anil. He is in the group here. And let this happen, and let us move forward. And for those of you who feel, no, we do not want to change, we will do with what we have, although it is not working, then I would just say, you don't belong in the group at all. All right, I'm not trying to be discouraging, but that is the reality of life. Even when patients seek me and come to Ayurveda, and I clearly tell them, if you are not compliant, don't waste your time and my time. Don't waste your energy and resources. So I'm very clear about it, because here, I'm not here to gather people or devotees or disciples or anything. My message is very clear. I'm trying to take the knowledge of what my Guru has given to see that it helps many, many people, and it will happen one way or the other. I'm very confident about it. So it is you who has to decide where you want to be and how you want to be in this process of seeking. Okay? Jai Gurudev. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.